Okay, so get ready because today we are diving into some seriously strange American history.
You guys sent in a video called 5 Random USA History Facts You Didn't Know, and
Yeah.
we're going to unpack these surprising little historical tidbits.
Right, and kind of see what
What's the story behind them?
what's the real story? Like, what else can we learn? What's the context? All that fun stuff.
Yeah, sometimes these things that seem totally random, they actually reveal kind of like these deeper truths about how our country was shaped and
Right.
the people involved and the crazy role of chance in history sometimes.
Yeah, so let's start with this one.
Let's do it.
The shortest presidency ever.
Oh, yeah.
William Henry Harrison.
William and Henry Harrison.
32 days.
That's it. He's out.
That's all he got.
And the story is that he gave this super long inaugural address out in the rain and caught pneumonia and died.
Yeah,
Is that the whole story?
pretty much. I mean,
Really?
the speech was really long.
Like, how long are we talking? 2 hours.
2 hours. What was he thinking?
It might seem crazy now, but back in the early 1800s, like, a really long inaugural address was, like, the thing to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they saw it as this chance to just, like, lay out their entire agenda, almost like a State of the Union, but, like, on steroids.
Wow.
Harrison's speech, it was full of details about policies like westward expansion and, like, building infrastructure.
So he really wanted to get it all out there.
He really did. He even got into the weeds of the Constitution. It was very, like, professorial almost, I wonder if it shows us something about him. Like, he wanted to make sure everyone knew he was smart and capable.
So maybe he was overcompensating a little bit,
Maybe just a tad.
talking himself to death for the presidency.
Well, don't give any long speeches in the rain.
Definitely not.
Noted.
So, okay, moving on to number 2.
All right.
Our capital city wasn't always in Washington, D.C.
Oh, this is a good one.
It was actually New York City for a hot minute.
It's true.
Can you believe that?
I mean, it was for a very short time, but yes.
But still.
Yeah.
So Congress moved everything down to D.C. in 1800, but apparently John Adams moved into the White House when it wasn't even finished.
I know, right? It's kind of hilarious. Imagine the President of the United States living in a construction zone.
Oh my God, that would be a disaster.
Right, but you have to remember, the U.S. was like a brand new country back then. They were figuring things out as they went. Choosing a permanent capital was a big deal. It was symbolic and practical. And moving to D.C., it was this compromise. It was geographically kind of in the middle. It was between the North and the South, and it let them build a whole new city.
Right.
That reflected what they wanted the country to be.
It's interesting how something like where to put the capital had so much thought behind it.
Right, it's not random at all.
So speaking of like important symbols,
Yes.
next fact is about the Liberty Bell,
The Liberty Bell.
which everyone knows it's iconic.
It is.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
It hasn't actually rung since 1846.
What?
Yeah, it cracked
Oh, yeah.
while it was tolling for George Washington's birthday.
That's right.
So I wonder if that silence kind of makes it even more powerful as a symbol.
I think it does. I think sometimes the most powerful symbols are the ones that remind us of, like, loss or things being incomplete.
Right.
Think about it, the Liberty Bell being silent with that big crack. It's a reminder that freedom's fragile.
That's a really good point.
Right.
It's like a reminder to keep fighting for it.
Absolutely.
So go from a silent symbol to a,
What's next?
well, kind of a silent purchase.
Okay.
Our next fact takes us to Alaska.
Alaska.
So we bought Alaska from Russia in 1867
Yes.
for only $7.2 million,
Wow.
which is like 2 cents an acre.
That's a steal.
I know, what a deal.
What a deal.
But was it really a good deal for everybody involved?
It's interesting. It definitely gave America more land and more resources, but the people who were already living there, the native people, a lot of them were forced off their land or had to totally change their lives.
Oh, right.
Treaties were made and then broken and then made again. It's a good reminder that even when things seem good in history, there can be consequences that aren't so good.
Yeah, it's like a more complicated story than just a cheap piece of land.
Exactly.
Okay, last fact, and this one is just weird.
Okay, lay it on me.
We all know about the Emu War in Australia, right?
Oh, yeah, the emus.
But did you know that the U.S. almost went to war with Great Britain over a pig?
What?
You heard me right, a pig.
I thought you were going to say like over tea or something.
No, a pig.
A pig.
So this was called the Pig War.
The Pig War.
The Pig War of 1859.
Okay.
And it happened on the San Juan Islands, which were this disputed territory between the U.S. and Canada.
Okay.
So somebody shot a pig,
Oh, no.
and everybody freaked out.
Seriously?
Yeah, the U.S. sent troops.
No way.
Great Britain sent troops.
Over a pig.
Luckily, nobody actually, went to war.
So what happened to the pig?
I don't know.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery, but it just goes to show you that even something silly can turn into a big deal.
Yeah, I guess international diplomacy isn't always about big, important things, huh?
Apparently not. So, I mean, can you imagine having to tell your boss that you almost started a war over a pig?
Yeah, I'd be like, sir, about that pig.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think my explanation would go over very well.
So, what have we learned today?
It seems like a lot of nothing.
Yeah, like a long-winded speech, an unfinished White House, a silent bell, a cheap piece of land, and a pig.
But it's not nothing.
No, I know what you mean.
I mean, these things might seem small or silly, but they all affected America in some way. They're part of the story.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what other weird things are hidden in history.
Exactly. History is full of surprises. Sometimes the little things are more important than we think. So keep asking questions, keep being curious. You never know what you might discover.